So a person who's up at 2 o'clock in the morning because they were playing video poker all night Googles Monterey chiropractor, okay? They need to be able to get educated about you. There needs to be really good information about you, which needs to include testimonials and lots of things that will compel them, okay? So one of the things about websites, I want to tell you, how many, raise your hand if you have a website right now. Okay, now, if your website is not regularly producing a flow of new patients to your clinic, and I mean regular good numbers, okay, then what's happening is it's not really educating the public well about you and chiropractic and the results you get, okay? So you need to understand that. So you need to ask yourself, is my website working? There's a lot of places that will tell you that they'll set up a website for you. Most chiropractors use a platform-based system, a Chiro something, a this or that, some company that sets them up for chiropractors, and it's a platform that they plug you in and put all your information in, and then they launch it for you, and then they charge you a monthly fee. Okay, I'm going to tell you, I'm like the Vern Spears, I'm like the BJ Palmer, I'm a nut when it comes to this stuff, and I have spent so much money, you have no idea. Okay, I hired the guy that created the Fortune 500 top websites, including BMW, and I'll tell you, it wasn't cheap, okay? And you know what? We got the best result to date with that guy. We actually started to get like 6 to 8 new patients a month consistently through that. And I was like, wow, we showed up on page 1, you know, like maybe 3rd up. And I was excited. I'm like, wow, finally, somebody gets this, okay? But part of it is your website has to be full, deep, and rich with information, because Google otherwise won't recognize it as a valid information and educational source for people who are going to look for chiropractic services in Monterey. You just look like another template, down the page you go. Everybody with me on that? And there are all kinds of companies out there. I know, because I used a lot of them and spent money on a lot of them, that will tell you, oh yeah, we'll create it, you'll see, you'll come up. And then the other piece of that is what's called SEO. So if you want to educate your patients, if you want to educate the public, and you want to build value with people in the public about your services, there must be SEO, which is search engine optimization. So that means you have to have a really smart person that can take that Porsche website they create for you, and they can optimize it so that it shows up. So even though I hired and spent a lot of money on this one company and several companies before that with terrible results, but finally I started to get some, I never give up. I'm always looking to make it better. So through some of our clients, I get introduced to a company called Demand Boost, all right? And there's a gentleman who's in that company, his name's Hamid Kargan. And he's actually here today because his office is very nearby, and I asked him if he wanted to stop by, he could. And I'm really happy that he did, because I think it's great for you guys, okay? Because here's my thing. I want the message out there, not just for me, I want it out there for all of us, right? So here's what happened. So I heard about him from clients of ours that said, hey, you know, you should test this guy out. You know, he's really doing great for us. Okay. So, and I had people tell me this and spent money on it. They'd say, well, you know, we can have you not only on page 1 in 3 months or 6 months, but we'll get you, you know, a lot more people. You know, you'll get more people coming in from it. Okay, great. And I'd spend the money. And I was so far down the road with this that when I met him, and he'll tell you the story, I said to him, you have 3 months. I said, I'll pay you, you know, what I need to pay you, no problem. And his prices were very fair, much less than the Fortune 500 guy. So I was like, okay, cool. All right. So what happens is, literally within months, we're on page 1 5 times. I don't know how he does that. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. What matters is that if somebody in Monterey or in Salinas Googles Salinas Chiropractor, we come up 5 times. The other thing is, he took our I'm going to call it, we probably had like the Fortune 500 guy probably got us like a by Toyota Camry. Okay, he turned it into a Ferrari, the website, honestly. Because he said, there's things on here that aren't right that won't bring you to the top of Google. You know, he said, so we have to start there. We have to rebuild this. And so he asked us for a lot of things. We gave him the stuff he needed. And he said, because this is going to get the information out to the public. And he said, not only that, but we have to track your results. When somebody clicks onto you, we want to see that they actually make an appointment. We want to see what the conversion is. Because what good is it if you have a website and a whole bunch of people visit it? Maybe you come up 5 times, but if it's not compelling, they won't stay and they won't make an appointment. There's a lot to this. I'm not a plumber and I'm not an electrician and I'm not a website expert and I'm not an SEO expert. So when I need a plumber or I need an electrician or I need somebody like Hamid, I hire them because I can't do this by myself. But I value it like Vern Spears valued the Hollywood producer that he hired because he knew, right? We have to have that kind of commitment to educating the public and our patients because that's what we're here to do. We're here to better humanity, right? To change the planet. But we got to start with the information superhighway. So that's huge. Hamid, some of the ways, come on up. Some of the ways that we have used, and I just want to give you some great ideas here because this is about patient education. Here's a great way to educate your patients in your office. So once you have an amazing website, see, we have this library that he created. We gave him he's like, I want videos on everything. Like we showed him what we already had, and he's like, I want it on this, and he gave us like marching orders, and it was like, yes, sir, boom. And we started feeding him what he wants. He goes, the more you feed me, the more I ask for, the better it's going to get. He goes, I can't do it alone. You've got to give me what I ask for. So know that you've got to do your part. But here's what happened. So we create this library. So here's a way that you can use that library when patients come in. Okay, so you always have a transition point. Maybe you just finished that intake history and you got to go check on an examination room to move the patient, right? So let's say it's Diana. And Diana, once she finds out about her heart and her neck and how it's all connected, Diana, of the things that you shared with us, the allergies, the neck pain, the shoulder and arm pain, and the recent blood pressure elevation, the low back pain that you get around your menstrual cycle, what's the number one thing that concerns you the most that you think, now that you understand how the nervous system works, what would be the number one thing you'd like to see come back for you?
Blood pressure.
Okay, blood pressure, perfect. And that's what people will do. So the thing that brought her in actually goes to number 2, okay? So to take that website that's awesome, put it on a tablet and say, so now you have a cool technology thing. Do people love cool technology things and value it? So you give them a really cool tablet, say this is our website, this is a library of people that have come in with recent conditions just like you, Diana. If you click here where it says blood pressure or you click here where it says shoulder, arm, and neck pain, you can hear about some of the results that Dr. Kimes has been able to achieve with his patients. Oh my gosh, they get that before they've even had an examination? Are you kidding me? Thank you, Hamid. Okay, so what are some of the other ways?
Oh, well, good morning, everybody. I'm not going to take too much of you guys' time. There are a couple important factors when it gets to patient education. Like Dr. Kimes mentioned, you can bring in thousands of people to your website, but let's say at 9:30 p.m., nobody's at the office. If you get a visitor going over your website, if that potential patient is trying to get information about you and how great of a chiropractor you are, you're not there, your CAs are not going to be there. Nobody's there to go ahead and tell them about your story and like all the testimonials and all that. So you need to be able to have a virtual front desk as well too, which is going to be your website. And who's going to be better than your existing or previous patients to go ahead and share their experiences with the future patients and tell them how good of a chiropractor you are. So the way it works is once you bring in traffic to the website, which there are so many different avenues and pipelines for pumping traffic to a website. You can do search engine optimization, you can do paid advertising, you can do social media marketing. There are so many different things, and I'm pretty sure each of you guys is using a different avenue and pipeline to go ahead and bring in the traffic. However, once the traffic is on the website, once the potential patient is on the website, it's your website's job to go ahead and turn that visitor into a patient. So the way it works is, do we have access to online? Do you want to just like go over
I don't know if we do, but
maybe
you could do that after.
Sure.
So we have about 7 minutes left.
Okay.
And so will you stick around at the break to talk to people
I will,
outside?
yes, I will.
Okay, fantastic. So he can show you some of this stuff, and you can talk to him about maybe what you're using and how you can make it better, or how they do what they do. But I'm telling you, let me just tell you the end result. Okay, so remember I told you I spent a lot of money, okay, and for a long time, really years, I spent money, and we'd get like 1 or 2 from it, and that was frustrating. I'm like, are you kidding me? So then we spent a whole bunch of money, and we got 5, 6, 7, 8 a month. Now our average is 14 to 18 per month. Per month. Okay, most chiropractors don't see that many new patients per month, period. Okay, and he and I are not done. I can tell you that. Because I have a goal, a number, which I haven't even told him where I want that to be, and I feel confident. I know, because we're still building the library, all the time. And he actually communicates, and he's got an amazing team. So that's the number one thing. Anything else you would want to give them, like other than outside the room, or
No,
you know
so-
what? Let me talk about this one. This is big. Okay, so he talked about multiple pipelines. That's what triggered me to think about this. So YouTube, remember I talked about, I didn't create a YouTube channel for ourselves. He did. I didn't even think about it. I wouldn't have thought about it. He goes, oh, we need to get a YouTube channel because a lot of people will go to there to find you. You need Facebook, you need Yelp, you need,
Google Places.
Yeah, Google Places. I mean, it's like all over. It's like crazy. The places like he's got, it just feeds in from all these places. Your average Joe chiropractic template stuff don't do that. They don't know how to do that. That's why I didn't get good results with them, okay? But those pipelines, one of the pipelines is, here's the new biggest growing pipeline. So somebody's in Monterey now, Brian, and it's 9:30 at night. They now have Obamacare, okay? They have a $1,000 deductible. They're not gonna have much chiropractic coverage, but they know they wanna go see a chiropractor. They're not gonna Google, they're not gonna, well, I say some people will Google Monterey chiropractor. You'll come up, okay, if it's right. But here's what the biggest growing segment is. Chiropractic deals in Monterey. Okay, because they're thinking, well, my insurance doesn't cover anymore, so I don't want to pay $350. I wonder if there's somebody here who I could go see that they're offering some kind of a coupon or an extra value online. So then that avenue steers you in. Okay, now here's one of the problems, because a lot of you have used Groupon, Social Wellness. What are some of the other ones?
There are Living Social, for example.
Living Social, I'm sorry.
Amazon Local.
Amazon Local, Yahoo Deals, there's all these things. So there's all these avenues. And if they're a Yahoo user, they're going to look there. But how many of you have used Groupon successfully? Okay. What it is when they Google, chiropractic deal or whatever search engine they use, then Groupon might show up. But if they're on Yahoo and they search it, they might get some kind of Yahoo deal. What they've done is create an amazing platform for that, so when they go to that avenue, which is the fastest growing one, then you come up with a coupon and services. Now, one of the problems with it is that when this came up, I don't have that in here, but there's legal issues now around it. How many of you have heard of the legal issues? Okay, so the legal issue that the state board put out, I have got a copy of their letter from a doctor that sent it to me, that they got a letter from the state board that said, you can't use Groupon anymore, okay? And the reason why is the way Groupon works is Groupon, if they go to Groupon, they collect an amount. Let's say it's $40 to come in for an exam and x-rays or whatever it is. Then Groupon gets $20 and you get $20. That's called a fee split. It's a 650 violation. It's a federal and state violation. So you got to be careful with what you do. So he comes up with a brilliant idea, which I love. So instead you pay an advertising fee of $29 a month. Get out of here. Where can you get $29 a month? And he uses all the avenues on the internet to funnel those people looking for chiropractic deals. And what happens is, so the patient pays $30, $35, $40. What do they pay for whatever services you choose to offer in your clinic? And you have 4 different choices, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And by the way, we've already had new patients from it this week because it's new. And it was really, really cool. In fact, one yesterday.
Awesome.
Yeah. So it's working great. I just wanted to give you that feedback. So anyway, it's a wonderful thing because it's the fastest growing segment, you see, for $29 a month. And then what happens is the money, every patient pays for a coupon that they validate. So you don't split it though. So you're going to get new patients. You won't get paid from them for that coupon that they pay. So there's no fee split. So the legal 650 issue dies. Do you follow? So it's legit. So whether it's a Groupon coupon, what was the other one? Living
Amazon.
Social, Amazon. There's no fee split anymore. Okay. What he does with that money is then he uses it to advertise online through more venues. So the new patients that come in, then that is being used to advertise more for you. You know, so it's a phenomenal thing. It's working great for us, and I know you've got a lot of people who've
Yes.
signed up for it like crazy. So they can talk to you about that too.
Right, they can definitely talk to me about it.